Okay, today we're talking about your first film journey. And hopefully that's gonna be you this year. You know, so I'm not talking to the people that have made a bunch of films or veterans potentially in this industry. I'm talking about that first film journey. The first time you've gotten the financing, you're jumping in the pool, you're making a movie, right? It's exciting and scary. If you haven't done it before, it can be definitely very scary because you don't know the challenges that you're going to face. And maybe that's not a bad thing sometimes. It's okay, ignorance sometimes is bliss. But really, ultimately, at the end of the day, this is going to be a big learning experience for you. So here are some things that I have put together that you need to watch out for. The first is to be very conscientious with who you're hiring, actor and crew-wise. And understand that there are going to be some crew people that you're going to be like, I'm never working with that person again. And then some people that you're like, this person is an ace. I would love to work with them anytime in the future. The same with actors. You might, and let me back up and say that the actor or actress may be super pleasant and super agreeable. Same with the director before you get to set. And then suddenly you're on set and they're a nightmare. I've seen it happen where suddenly it was like, oh, the ego comes out and it's like, oh my God, like I did not expect this at all. I've had that happen with directors where we were working with a certain director and he was all collaborative. And then the second we got to set, it was, nope, no one's collaborating with me. His monster ego got in the way. And that could happen, okay? So understand that there are going to be some challenges when you're shooting your first film, but if you try to hire based on experience, that you've gotten referrals and things like that to these people, and maybe they've done a lot of movies, chances are if they've done a lot of movies, they're probably okay to work with, at least they know what they're doing, or people would stop hiring them. And so be very discerning with your selection of cast and crew. The second thing that I would say is be open to changes. Be flexible, I guess is the key. Is that, you know, you may go, today as we're shooting outside and we're doing the backyard scene, okay? And it's raining or snowing or sleeting or whatever. And you can't do it. You can't do it. So you have to go, we got to shoot the hospital scene today, you know, and then you have to figure that out. You have to call and you got to rearrange stuff. And then maybe the hospital's not available. So then you go, well, can we recreate that set somewhere or do something that'll make it look like a hospital? Or do we figure out another scene? Or do we take off today, which would be the worst one, you know, if you got everybody there. You don't want to do that. So there will be challenges. You have to be flexible. You have to be ready to adapt to those challenges. And then the final tip that I will give you is every movie feels like this is the one. This is everything. And as you start making more, I've produced 25 films now. You start to realize it's just a process. It's another process, and hopefully it'll be something that is exciting and makes money and you could be proud of. But it's not the end of the world. It's not going to change everything in your life. It could potentially, you know, there's always that lottery ticket chance, but most likely you're going to be starting to think about the next one. But I've seen it many times where people do anything. I don't want to, you know, I put everything on hold and you know, ignore friends and this because this is the movie. You don't know what we have here. You know how many times I've heard that? Man, we're doing something amazing here. It's like, ugh, I hate to be cynical and sick of it, but it's like, yeah, okay, every movie says that. And every movie believes when they're filming this is the greatest movie ever. But understand that it's a process and it's on to the next one. So you should be thinking about the future, thinking about what did I learn from this? Who's the crew that I hired that was great, cast that was great, the crew I hired, cast that I will never work with again? What challenges did I have to face to put this all together? And at the end of the day, you are not saving lives. You're just making flickering images on the screen, right? And you need to be concerned about the future process and your future career and where you're going to go from there.